Okay, still in Livingston, and this just needed its own video. So the other videos about the Muffler Men took care of that, and this just needed its own thing because it's too much to put all together. We stopped on the way into town and went to Harry's Rabbit Ranch. Not a bunny ranch. We thought about that. It's a rabbit ranch. And he actually had a bunch of Volkswagen Rabbits all over the place. It's like an old gas station, had a bunch of Volkswagen Rabbits all over the place. So I thought it was trickery, that I wasn't really going to get to see a rabbit. But he did. He had cute little rabbits. Have pictures of them. I saw 2 rabbits. But like the Cadillac Ranch, his rabbit ranch had Volkswagen Rabbits stuck in the ground. So that was pretty funny. And he was awesome. He was really cool, dude. I think he was retired. So he's only open whenever he wants to be. I called ahead to make sure because my book, that Easy 66 Guide, said call ahead. He's retired. He does teach school as a substitute teacher, so he had to teach tomorrow. So today when I was calling, I said, are there going to be rabbits that I can pet? And he goes, well, no, not really. He said, well, you may be able to pet them. I have 2 of them out. I said, okay. He said, but even if I'm already closed at 3:30, you don't get here in time, still a pretty good photo op outside. I said, oh, so if I don't get there today and I get there tomorrow, it's still fine, right? He said, I guess, but I won't be here tomorrow. So I could tell I needed to get there today so I could chat with him, and he was worth it. We got there, and we knew we weren't going to make it to St. Louis, so I asked him where we should stay. So he recommended Rustic RV Jellystone Park, something like that, in Douglas, Illinois. We're coming this way and following GPS at this point because it's not actually on Route 66. So we just typed it into Waze and started following that. It takes us down these little roads that are like bumpy and kind of scary. I started looking up reviews and like 4 people have reviewed it. And we kept going and going, and it was getting sketchier and sketchier. A little scary. And then we got here, and of course it was perfect. So far. So, if y'all don't see me vlogging tomorrow, we're in Douglas, Illinois at Rustic RV Park. Remember that. Anyway, we get here and it seems to be fine. And got everything set up, unloaded, and go back into town to a little hamburger shop where we saw the Muffler Men. I was so hungry. I didn't, like I said, Cracker Barrel this morning didn't work for me. So I was very hungry. We went back to just get a hamburger from the hamburger shop. As we were going to the hamburger shop, we passed Hard Dog Cafe right there. I thought, that looks pretty cool. There were no cars there, so I couldn't tell if it was really open or not. Googled it, and they were open, and they were a bar. Bingo! Bar. You had me at alcohol. So we turn around, and we go back into Hard Dog Cafe. We walk in the door, and it's like this little entryway with a piano with like cobwebs all over it and pictures on the wall of like old newspaper clippings and stuff. Very House of a Thousand Corpses-ish. Like, just walking in the door felt like walking into a horror movie. And we had just come through, like, thinking that Henry at the Rabbit Ranch had set us up for another horror movie, because I've seen how those begin. So we leave here, then we go into this place, and I'm like, dude, this is like, this whole town is setting us up. This is what's happening here. I know it. So we get past that first entry, foyer, and then it's another freaking foyer. It's a little bigger this time, and then it has some crazy cool stuff on the walls. And then we get into it, and it's this amazing place decorated for Halloween. That's where the cobwebs come from. It wasn't just cobwebs like an old place. So it's decorated for Halloween, and to the right there's a big blow up like Halloween thing with like teeth hanging down or whatever. And we step in the door, and I could hear like screaming, kind of like groaning. I could just hear noise, and anybody that knows me knows I don't hear well, so I wasn't really sure what I was hearing. David was behind me, and so we get in a little and say, hello, and about that time, the biggest dog bark ever, huge dog bark, and you could hear, like you can tell it started in the distance, and now it's not distant anymore. The dog was right there, and it was a bigger dog bark than my Louie was. This is where it's funny. David had turned and he was gone. He was gone. And I turned to run, and then I thought, I'm not scared of a dog, but what the hell is making all the other noises? So I stopped. I looked back, and he's gone. He's back at the door. But he just stopped to see if I was behind him. And at that point, the man who owns the bar came out and hollered at Keela.
I ain't getting bit by no dog, and I ain't afraid of no ghost.
I was afraid of the ghost. He was afraid of the dog. Anyway, so Keela was a 1-year-old Great Dane that was adorable, black with white spots, and when it stood up on the bar, like he was probably waist high across it. And so the gentleman that owns the place came out and said, oh, get down, he doesn't bite. David said, all right, but I ain't getting bit by no dog. And Pop, who owns the place, his name is Pop, said, not much of a biter, come on in, have a seat. So we sat down at the bar, chatted with him, and his person he said she was gone to get apple juice. He said, I got to have apple juice for the smoker. She'll be right back. I was like, smoker? You smoke your own meat here? He goes, oh, yeah. Sold. So he gives us the menus, and the menus are all named after, like, mafia guys. And Pop tells us all about these mafia guys and how each sandwich has to do with that person. Like, it's the coolest thing ever. And then I ordered a sandwich for David and I to split. So while Pop was making that, Bailey had since come back from getting the apple juice for the smoker. And Bailey was fixing our drinks and sat down and chatted with us, she is adorable as well. And they live upstairs. So when I walked in, what I was hearing, I guess, was a TV or something upstairs. Their apartment is upstairs. So she comes in and is chatting with us, and then comes out with a appetizer that Pop had put together for us and just sent to us called Momo's. Holy guacamole. Batman. They were amazing. It seemed like a little piece of pork, maybe wrapped in bacon, sliced kind of thin, and sauce that I guess he makes all his own sauces too, which was incredible. The sauce laid over it, slightly spicy, not too much. You know me, you would have to light my mouth on fire. So it had just a perfect amount of spice that a normal person could handle it. So freaking good. I would have been happy with that. Then he comes out with our sandwich split, and it's 2 plates full of food, and the sandwich was chunked smoked chicken and chunked smoked pig, all chunked up, and it was mixed in the sauce that he makes. He calls it a hot dog sauce, I think, on a bun, but it wasn't on a bun. It covered the entire plate with provolone cheese. I love food more than I love most things, and it was so good. And then we started talking and asking about the place, because the place was incredibly awesome. Like, it's big with big old ceilings, memorabilia on the wall, like newspaper clippings and everything. Pop told us the whole time about the mafia people that he liked and how his food there related to him. Awesome. A second Great Dane female came out, and you could tell she was a little older. And she was putting up with no shit. No shit at all. She was 12 and the last in the line that he's always had. Kalo was adopted and a year-old baby. But the 12-year-old female, not one shit was going to be given. She was done. She putting up with nothing. Still friendly and everything. I got to pet him. How am I going to wrap this up? So anyway, the moral of this whole video is how cool that place was. How awesome Pop and Bailey were. They treated us like they had always known us. I would say that the Hard Dog Cafe was the highlight since I left Florida, except for my chair. My new chair. Cafe chair. Right here. Solo stove is okay now. So anyway, shout out to Hard Dog Cafe, Pop, Bailey, good job. Best food I have had. I come from Memphis, so I'm just letting you know, for me to say that was some good smoked meat, that's something. Thank you so much for having us, and we appreciate it so much. If y'all ever see this, I just want you to know how wonderful it is. Thank you. Peace out. Good night. Smokeless now. Great. It's nice now. It's kind of cool.
Smoke less, not smoke free.
See, they used a little trickery with that. Peace out. Good night.